What's good, you two? Welcome back to another episode of Listen Podcast. Boy, my and I'm Joe Moran. Joe, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. A lot of stuff has happened in the last couple of days, including the big news with the James Harden trade deal. Let's just get right in. So the deal has been finalized. It's been complete for all the parties that were involved. So the Rockets get Victor Oladipo, Rodney's Krukas, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Dante Exum, four unprotected first round picks, three from Brooklyn and one from Milwaukee, and four unprotected first round pick swaps. And that's to get James Harden. The Pacers get Paris Levert, a second round pick for 2023 from the Rockets. So really just like, man, let me just get your perspective from the Rockets and the Nets and give me your reactions also to the trade.
I mean, to be honest, like I wasn't that surprised that James went to the Nets.
Mhm.
I mean, I guess I'm happy for him. Like that's what he wanted. He wanted to go. But in for the Rockets, I think it's pretty good. Like it's not so bad, to be honest. Like the team that I'm watching right now, like they're playing their hearts out. Like no joke. Like I know you're making that face, but I'm low key liking this team. And with Victor Oladipo, if he actually accepts the situation and joins into this team, like it could be good.
So and from Brooklyn side,
Brooklyn,
obviously.
that's pretty good. I'm just gonna be interested to see James with Kyrie and KD. Like that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, so I'm pretty much just gonna like give my reactions and then who won, who lost, basically with all the parties involved. My first reaction is like I wasn't shocked nor surprised, but then just kind of shocked and surprising at the same time, considering the fact that after Harden's interview, that the Rockets just like they had to get rid of him because of what he said, and then the Marcus Cousins interview talking about the disrespect started way before the games, preseason and training camp, the disrespect and stuff like that. And then you had John Wall, talking like, it's only been 9 games and you're willing to jump off shit, stuff like that. So, it's just stuff that has been building up. And like I said, I have no issue with James Harden requesting the trade, but it's how he handled it. It was not the right way, obviously, So, and obviously, I don't think he meant to do it to like John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins, like the newcomers. I don't think it was to disrespect them. I just think because it's been with the organization
Yeah.
and how much of a bad relationship it's been. James Harden wasn't trying to like aim it to those guys. He wasn't trying to disrespect them. From what I saw, I really don't know with him, but I don't think he was trying to target those guys. I think he's been targeting Fertitta and that organization and what they've been doing, stuff like that. I don't know. Timo Fertitta just been frustrating me, with some of the stuff that he's done, obviously. Um, so this stuff's been building up, obviously, ever since uh, training camp and preseason, and then having showing up out of shape and looking disinterested. And obviously, the first game against Portland, he went crazy. But then, he kind of had to take the pedals off of it because, they think I'm going to stay here. But, then he says what he said about the Lakers. We get blown out twice.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of stuff going on. But, I mean, he got what he wanted. He went to the team that he wanted. But now I'm just going to really talk about, like, who won and lost. I think really looking at this trade and having a couple of days to really think about it, seeing what transpired, I think the Cavs won, the Pacers won as well, and obviously Brooklyn won. But I think we lost because I honestly did not want Victor Oladipo. I was looking for the Rockets to get a Jared Allen and a Karis LeVert, and you got in those guys, and then potentially Joe Harris. That would have been a great trade to have, but you didn't. You had a chance to potentially get like getting like if we had not gotten a chance at getting Levert and Jared Allen, I would be like, okay, that's fine. But can you go get a Ben Simmons and a Tyrese Maxey or Matisse Thybulle? There were reports out there that the Rockets were talking about getting them, but another report came out that Tony Fertitta was unhappy with Daryl Morey. That was one of the reasons why he didn't make the Sixers move, which I don't get. Like if you have a chance at getting a guy like Ben Simmons, who has untapped potential, and we kind of joke about his shooting and how he's not good with that and stuff like that. Like I'm getting Ben Simmons. Like if I'm someone for Tito, I'm like I want to get this guy because he can be a franchise cornerstone for me, and maybe get a Tyrese Maxey and what he's been doing for the Sixers, maybe Matisse Thybulle, and then you get a pick. That to me is what I would like because I'm kind of just looking at this trade again and kind of seeing, Ben Simmons. Like you had a chance at getting a guy like Ben Simmons. I get it, like Christian Wood and Ben Simmons. I don't even know how that would make sense. If you have a chance at getting Ben Simmons for the future, you take that. And so that's what I think is that it's not that they ever had a chance to get him, is that they had a chance to get him and they were actually talking about potentially getting him, but they didn't, which I just don't understand. And, you know, I would take Karis LeVert over Victor Oladipo, obviously because Karis LeVert is cheaper. He's on a deal right now, like a team-friendly deal. And surprisingly, he's been playing great. Surprisingly for Brooklyn, he's been playing great. Coming off the bench at times, starting. That's what I think. What I saw from him. And then Victor Oladipo, obviously coming off the injury, it's questionable, of what he's gonna do. He's on an expiring deal, so I don't think he's looking to stay with the Rockets. I think there were reports coming out that he wants to go to Miami. His intention was never to go to the Rockets, so I don't know. We'll see how things transpire like throughout the year, where we are, and if he's interested in coming back, great. If he's not, then we get it. He's on an expiring deal. He's trying to get more money, so we'll see what happens. We have time like right now to the trade deadline in March. Like let's see, if he's not performing well, let's talk to other teams and then potentially trade him, stuff like that. But I look at it from the Clippers and Thunder deal where the Thunder had received so many picks, but they also received Shea Alexander from the Clippers, which to me is a win because not only for the Thunder you get a guy like Shea, but you also get some picks. So you also get some guys to pair up with Shea, stuff like that. And he's proving to be their franchise guy right now. I mean, he had like 33 or 10 last night against the Wolves. So he's been proving his value and he's proven that he's been a franchise cornerstone. So that's what I think, like for the Rockets, like if you get Ben Simmons, Tyrese Maxey, and two picks, that's good. You win. Because that not only do you have those two guys for the future, but you have two first round picks, and you can potentially see in the next couple of years where you have. So that's what you kind of see, but I don't know. It's like I don't know because it's hard to tell. Because like I said, James Harden is currently playing right now for Brooklyn. They're Brooklyn's playing against Orlando, so we'll see what happens. It's still like a lot of unknown, and then we don't know, And then now just getting obviously to Brooklyn and stuff like that. Obviously, yeah, they got James Harden. We'll see how it works. Their depth, they really don't have no depth now. Their defense is questionable. DeAndre Jordan, in my opinion, he was only there because KD and Kyrie are his buddies. The organization saw that we can't trade away their guy. That's really what I saw. Them getting rid of Jared Allen is going to be a big mistake. Them getting rid of Torian Prince too, and Karis LeVert. Some guys in their depth and guys that played defense as well. Karis LeVert, underrated defender. Jared Allen was starting to become a great rim protector in the league. And so for the Cavs, you get a win potentially, even though the Colin Sexton, Darius Garland duo of guards is questionable. You still get a guy like Jared because Andre Drummond hasn't putting up stats right now. He's been playing great so far, and I don't think Cleveland is looking to pay him that much money in the offseason. So now what does that do is that you have a guy in Jared Allen, you can sign him for less money, but his value isn't diminished. So you have a Jared Allen in the future. It's kind of like Andre Drummond. You can walk, but we still got a guy in Jared Allen that he's going to be part of our future. Now with the Pacers, with Karis LeVert, obviously right now just hearing the news that he's going to be out indefinitely, but whenever he gets back on the floor, I don't think Indy saw it as a guy. This is our number one. This is our guy. I think the Indy just said we're going to work him into the rotation with Brogdon and Sabonis and the guys that we have. We're going to put him in, see how he does, and they're still going to be a playoff team. I just don't know what their ceiling, what they're going to be, but they're still going to be a great team. And you had a guy like Harrison. So, the Cavs and the Pacers have a win in my book. The Brooklyn, obviously, with James Harden, of course, they have a win in my book. But I feel that the Rockets is that you could have gotten more. I will see what happens, and I'm looking at these first round picks, obviously from Brooklyn for 2022, 24, 26, and then Milwaukee's 2022. I mean, you get picks and stuff. I mean, you're happy, but and how valuable are those picks? And in Brooklyn, we can potentially see them in the finals either this year or next year. How valuable are those picks? Like, how good can they really be? And obviously, getting Dante Exum and Lucas, I don't even know if they're going to play. I don't even know if Steven Sass is going to include them in the mix. And then getting Victor Oladipo, I don't know. I mean, I would have taken Ben Simmons over Victor Oladipo in a heartbeat. Because yes, we question Ben Simmons' shooting ability, but he has everything else. He can pass, he can defend, he can get you rebounds, he's one of the better defenders in the NBA. So that's what I kind of look at it. It's kind of like, because you got time to think about it after, you kind of think, well, they could have gotten maybe not a guy that's better right now, but a guy that has so much potential, a guy that can be so great in the future that they missed on that. And I mean, if you're the Sixers, you're breathing right now because you're getting rid of getting Ben Simmons and Maxey, the guy that you just got from the draft, would be a huge blow for them. So that's what I think is just kind of like, the Rockets, for me, from what I've seen from the trade and evaluating and seeing how it's going to transpire, I don't think we won, honestly. Like, I get it, we got these first round picks and stuff, but they're not really valuable if Brooklyn keeps winning, you know. And then you have first round pick swaps that you got, and then it's hard. This is just initial reaction because we have to kind of know how it's gonna work and stuff like that. Obviously, now we're not seeing Karis LeVert on the floor is gonna be questionable and stuff like that. We're gonna see the other guys playing stuff like that, but it's going to be interesting to see. That's my opinion. Just looking. I mean, you had a shot at getting Ben Simmons. If you have a shot at getting Ben Simmons and then a Tyrese Maxey and maybe a Thibault, that's great. And then maybe you get rid of PJ Tucker and maybe Eric Gordon because those guys are, they're not giving you great production right now. PJ's on an expiring deal. Eric Gordon is getting almost 15 to 60 million a year. So you want to get that off your books and then get younger guys, cheaper guys. Ben Simmons signed his extension, I think, with either last offseason. Yeah, but it's just, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Some Rockets fans think we won. Some Rockets fans think we lost. I think, in my opinion, we lost because it's just, you just like potentially missing the shot of getting Ben Simmons. And if that report is true of Toma Fertitta being like having a rift or beef with Daryl Morey, that's the most ridiculous thing because you mean to tell me that you actually had a chance at getting him and you didn't get it because you didn't like him or this that. Like, I don't get that. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I think. It's just kind of like it's hard. Like I said, it's hard to tell. Who knows? Maybe Victor Oladipo, there's a possibility that none of the teams win. That Jared Allen isn't performing great. That Victor Oladipo isn't playing great. That James Harden, that three with Kyrie and KD and Harden, it doesn't work. There's possibilities that it won't work. We just don't know. It's just off of assumptions and off of what we see that gets you to kind of think, okay, like it's one of those questionable moves. So it gets me mad on the fact that it's not that the Sixers denied the trade off. It's just the fact that they were accepting it and they were talking about it and you had a chance to get it.
Yeah.
But because you decided to be so sensitive because of past relationships, someone Fertitta that you had, you couldn't get it. And this is the same dude that said when the James Harden thing started and him outing and him saying, I don't want to be here anymore and this, and that. This is the same dude that said, we're willing to get uncomfortable. And it's like, no, how uncomfortable are you willing to get? And it got so uncomfortable to the point that they had to trade him. So he went on to say that foolishness. So it's, man, it's a lot of unknowns right
Mhm.
now.
You just gotta give
So,
it time
hmm?
because you know.
Yeah, we're only going to know this by time. And then with the Pacers, we won't know because like Harris Levert is out indefinitely. So,
Yeah.
we don't really know how well he's going to be. Wishing him nothing but the best. I hope it's not nothing serious, but it's just hard to tell. It's just hard to tell which team. Like I think the Cavs won in Marvel because you get a guy like Jared Allen, you can let Andre Drummond walk, but you have a guy in Jared Allen that said, "Yeah, that's our guy for the future." Because Andre Drummond, he's putting up stats right now, but I don't think the Cavs are willing to give Andre Drummond 16 million a year. That's just, and then plus Jared Allen is younger and he's performing well right now. You have potential in there, so yeah, it's just in my book how things look. But do you honestly think that we won from this trade?
I wouldn't say we won, but also it also really just depends on time, like just to see how we play first with Oladipo. Because I don't want to say too early because I don't know yet. You don't know how Oladipo is gonna do with the team, so I'm not really sure yet. But I think it's okay. Like I actually want to see this happen.
Yes, it's hard to tell. Who knows? Maybe what I say is wrong. Maybe Rick Oladipo proves everybody wrong, which I hope he does. And then maybe I say, okay, well, maybe we won't finish it, but I just don't know. Like it's
Yeah.
because you don't even know if he's gonna be here next year. That's the thing. It's like he's not here on a 2-year, 3-year deal. He's on an expiring deal. The Pacers are happy right now, even though they're not so happy that Karis LeVert is hurt out right now. They're kind of happy that we got a guy on a cheaper deal. He's younger, he's ascending, and he's there. As opposed to you still being with the guy that is obviously not happy, it's
Mhm.
questionable and stuff like that with how good he can be. Because before the injury, Victor Oladipo was, you know, really ascending all star. Like he
Yeah.
was being one of those guys. Like he was in that status, but it's now he gets the injury and he's 29 and I don't know how much money he's looking for. Like how much of an extension we're talking about now with the Rockets. The cap space is a disaster right now because you have Eric Gordon's deal and then you have John Wall's deal in the books and he just signed Christian Wood. So it's like I said, it's hard to tell right now. But this is what I saw. It's just like you had a shot at getting Ben Simmons. Like it's not even the fact that the Sixers declined the trade offers. It's the fact that you had a shot at getting Ben Simmons, but you didn't want to. Only because the owner uh was like, nah, I don't like you. I'm not
Is
gonna pay
that
for
actually
that.
true? Is that actually
I
true
don't
though?
think it's true. I don't know if it's true, but there's
Yeah.
been some reports out there that Fertitta was, he wasn't really happy with Daryl Morey. He didn't like him and stuff like that. Like if that's, I don't know if that report's true, but if it really is true, then you just messed up big time because
If
that
it's
is the
true.
most
Yeah.
pathetic and silliest and
Yeah.
stupidest thing
Yeah.
because that's
I feel
ridiculous.
like it was just James Harden's choice. Like I think James chose to go to Brooklyn.
I mean, I don't know. Like I
So
said, with these reports out there, unless it's from Woj or Shines, or like really these trusted sources,
mhm.
you don't know if this was true or not. But I mean, you had a shot though at getting,
Yeah.
you had a shot, you know. Yeah, I'm seeing. I'm searching it up right now. I'm seeing that. Yeah, Rockets owner Daryl Moore, or no, Rockets owner Tony Fertitta refused to send All Star Daryl Moore 76ers. So this really is this really is true. Like this is potentially like it actually happened. And then it's kind of like, are you kidding me, Tony Fertitta? Like you didn't make the trade because you were mad over what? Daryl
That's
Moore
it.
is giving you a great guy for the future. And what? Don't know, man. It's just ridiculous. Dude, you had a chance at getting, but like one of our franchises because Christian Wood's our guy for the future now.
Yeah,
You know, he's gonna be there for maybe 3 more years. Hopefully, he stays there longer, and he just continues to get better. So, but which I know he can. Seeing like so far, seeing what he's done right now, he's to me is my most improved player. You know, there's
yeah,
other guys right now that are in the running, but he's there for most improved. You know, he's going to continue to get better, in my opinion. See what I've seen, but it's like that. That's just silly. Like on the fact that you could have potentially got Harris Levert or Jared Allen or Ben Simmons or Tyrese Maxey or Thydon. So like DeMarcus Cousins, like DeMarcus Cousins is not going to be here next year. Like we're not signing him to a
that's
2 year,
for
3 year deal. Like this is a 1 year rental. You know, like DeMarcus, you can go. I honestly want him to go because I think he's gonna get more money somewhere else, and then
sure.
that's fine with me. Because then he'll be happy, like his value is appreciated somewhere. It's not like we're diminishing his value, but like your value is appreciated here, but go somewhere else so where they're gonna give you a much better value, and then maybe you get to two. He's not getting like a max or stuff, but get a 2 year, 3 year deal.
Yeah,
Like DeMarcus is not going to be here for the future. We already know that. So we kind of know some guys that we just kind of like just hanging around, potentially waiting to get traded. And PJ Tucker is also on an expiring deal. And maybe we're gonna, get rid of him because he's not happy with the Rockets and then them not extending him.
yeah,
That was a lot that I just said, but it's a lot that's been going on. So it's complicated to really, really know
yeah.
because there's a reality, man, that nobody wins. Like everybody's playing bad, which I don't want it to happen. I want everybody to succeed in this trade.
Yeah,
But it's just when it comes to these trades with the superstar and stuff like that, the Rockets, like we all know, when it comes to trading superstar with the AD deal, you kind of saw with the Pelicans. Brandon Ingram's playing great right now. He could be, if the All Star voting was today, he'd probably be in the mix for it right now. He's playing great for the Pelicans. Like Brandon Ingram is not Anthony Davis. And that's what we kind of saw with James Harden. It's like Victor Oladipo is not James Harden. So, you just kind of know that, hey, I'm trading away my superstar, and I know I'm not getting anything back in return that like is obviously his value or exceeding. Because unless you're getting a Steph or a KD or a LeBron or an AD, then this some of these top superstars, Giannis and stuff like that, you're not winning much. So that to me, but you could have potentially gotten a Ben Simmons. Obviously, Ben Simmons is not better than James Harden. Yes, we know that, but he has potential, untapped potential that you could have gotten to him because
and that would be like 2 point guards with John Wall.
John Wall. But I think honestly, John Wall, we might get rid of him next year because there's money is gonna. Let me see his contract because this contract only increases from here. You know, I'm trying to see how it's gonna be, but I'm trying to because he's a free agent in 2023, like I'm seeing right now. So this year he's getting 38 million. Next year he's getting 44 million, and then the year after that he's getting 47 million. So if you're the Rockets, you can't do this deal all the way till 2023. Like I
Yeah,
already got it in my mind. You're gonna have to get rid of him because when that's a lot of money. And no disrespect to John Wall, but obviously John Wall is never gonna equate to the money that he got. And it's not his fault that he got injured or stuff like that happened to him. Injuries just happen. It's freak of nature. Everyone has injuries, but
mhm,
Yeah, man, we're not writing this salary until 2023. Like, we're gonna have to potentially trade him because that cap money is gonna hit, it's gonna be increasing a lot. And then the salary cap goes down this year even, because of COVID and stuff and the impact that it has. So that to me in my book is just where see it and where it stands and stuff like that. It's That's a lot. It's a lot of stuff that I pretty much just said. Obviously, everyone, you got a player. In terms of who wins or loses right now, so far, I think Brooklyn wins, Indy wins, Cleveland wins, and we lose. But then again, that can change in the matter of months. So I'm not saying Victor Oladipo's a scrub. I'm just saying that you had a chance at getting again Paris LeVert or Jared Allen, but now the news coming about Paris LeVert. It's unfortunate, but I still would have loved to have Paris LeVert. Obviously he was going to be out and stuff, but I would have loved to got a guy like Paris LeVert. So Victor Oladipo, we'll see how bought in he is because he wants to go to Miami and stuff. I don't even think that's. I don't like. Why would you go to Miami though? That doesn't even make sense with
Yeah,
Boron and Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero and Kendrick Nunn, and they have other guys that are going to ascend. I just don't see the fit there, how it's going to work, stuff like that. So that really doesn't make sense to me. I don't know if that report's true or not, but it's, I say it's a lot of unquestionable things
yeah.
because with Brooklyn, how about in this Kyrie? Like, are you going to need three basketballs now on the floor? And, the only, like, we know Brooklyn 1, 2, and 3 when it comes to like their best players. KD's number one. KD's the most proven. He's the most talented. He's the most trusted, and he has a championship pedigree. So Kevin Durant's number one. He's by himself. 2 and 3 is a question. Is it going to be Kyrie, James Harden, or is it going to be James Harden, Kyrie? I think Brooklyn did this deal. Now, obviously, what they're going to say is, we did this deal so Harden, Durant, and Irving, and all of them can be in the mix. But I honestly think, in my opinion, they made this deal because we don't even know if Kyrie's bought in. So if
Yeah,
he's not bought in and stuff like that, we got a guy in James Harden
yeah.
that it's
Championship
kind of like,
winning.
yeah, they have potential of getting a championship and stuff like that. Because I don't know with Kyrie, you hope it's nothing serious with him. A lot of stuff's been transpiring, and him showing up at the party, fit maskless and stuff like that. You hope it's nothing serious with him and stuff like that. But at the same time, if he's not bought in, then at least you know that you got a guy in James Harden
Yeah.
for Brooklyn. Indeed, you got a guy in Paris LeVert. He's injured right now, but he's cheaper. He's playing great right now. And he's a guy that you can have in the future with Sabonis and Miles Turner and Malcolm Brogdon and the other guys that you had. You have a good team that you can potentially build for the next couple of years. And, for the Cavs, you got Jared Allen. And I think they got a pick too. You got the Cavs with Jared Allen. That's a big win for you because you can add him to the guys that you have in Colin Sexton, Darius Garland, Kevin Porter Jr., add Jared Allen, add another guy in there. And then Andre Drummond, he's looking for money, but you're not going to give it to him. So instead, what you do is that you get a much cheaper big, a guy that's playing great right now that in the offseason he's going to get money, he's going to get interest from a lot of teams. So that kind of is what you shape up with Jared Allen. And so for us, the Rockets, it's kind of like Victor Oladipo, how about in is he? Dante Exum is injury prone. Ever since his Utah days, he's barely really played. So you don't even know with him, without Exum what you're gonna get. And then Rodney Crookus, I don't with Brooklyn, I didn't pay much attention to him, so I don't know what he provides. Hopefully he provides, something for us. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, because I would have been in a much happier mood if we had gotten Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, or Ben Simmons, Tyrese Maxey, like those guys, yeah. But I mean, at least you walk out maybe with the Victor Oladipo. We'll see where his head's at the offseason, how we'll perform and stuff like that. But it's just like it's a potential and of the fact that you could have really gotten a guy in Ben Simmons, a franchise guy for your future, and you
Yeah.
passed up on it. The Chargers will never understand it. So that's the thing. So, we'll see how things go. I mean, there's still a lot of time. Like I said, we're barely a month into the season. So it's hard to tell right now what's going to happen, what's going to transpire. But yeah, it's it hasn't sunk in yet on the fact that James Harden just got traded, considering the fact he was here for a long time here in Houston.
Yeah.
So I think it sunk into me as a Rockets fan. Now, when you talk about James Harden's legacy and what he did and stuff like that, it's hard to tell. He gave us great moments, but then he also didn't give us so great moments
Yeah.
because had he gotten us the championship in 2018, I think his departure would have been a lot different. I think with the way things went down, had
Yeah.
he asked for a trade, I would have said, no problem. You got us a championship. That's all that matters. You can walk away, go somewhere else and stuff like that. I had no issue. But because you didn't get us that, it's weirder now. And then it's just like,
Especially when he said he gave his all.
yeah, he said he gave us his all. I don't know, like how much did you really give? Because the organization did everything for you. They gave you the keys. You asked for power. They gave you that power. They gave you Dwight Howard. They gave you Chris Paul. They gave you Russell Westbrook. But they didn't work out. Obviously they didn't give us LeBron or Kevin Durant, but they gave you some guys now. Ariza, Ryan Anderson, Eric Gordon, PJ
Yeah.
Tucker. Obviously we had Clint Capella riding around, stuff like that. Joe Green and all these other guys. Like we had guys. Trevor Ariza, like we had guys. It's
Yeah.
just like we just didn't do enough. So that's just kind of the things that I look at. It's just kind of like I don't know what his legacy is, other than the fact that we went to the playoffs 8 times. We went to the conference finals 2 times, but in those two, we had a potential shot at winning it all.
Yeah.
Because I don't care what anybody says, and that maybe just is me being biased, but had Chris Paul been there, healthy, we would have for sure beaten Golden State. Even with the loaded team, we would have beaten them because you saw throughout that whole series, like we were playing great. We
Yeah.
were riding with them, like we were just right there with them. So obviously we didn't have as much talent as they had, but we didn't have any scrubs for Chris Paul and James Harden. So that's just the thing that's just gonna haunt me as a Rockets fan when he left. It's just kind of like you say you gave us your all, but I don't know how much you really gave because the organization gave you what you wanted. You know, they gave you all the power. They gave you control over practice schedule, over a variety of things, traveling schedule. So it's hard to tell
Yeah.
what his legacy is because it's not like if you're a Cleveland fan and you were there at the time that LeBron got you a championship, if you're a Cleveland fan, you're happy because
Yeah.
LeBron came there and he got you a championship. Now with the Rockets, it's kind of like the same thing. Like he's been there with the Rockets, but he didn't get us a championship. So where do we leave as we don't celebrate like the same praise that I would probably give LeBron for winning the Cleveland championship. I can't give that to Harden. He didn't do us a lot. So
Yeah.
it's complicated what his legacy is. He gave us great moments, which obviously that we knew, and then he gave us not so great moments. Obviously, in San Antonio, 2017, he had like a seat, like a career high in turnovers. I think that was a record also for them in the playoffs against the Spurs. Kawhi and Tony Parker weren't even playing, and it was just a disaster that game. He had 12 turnovers and stuff like that. So it's just it's hard. It's hard to have my mind around because I appreciate it, but then it's kind of like it's I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just where we stand on things. Is just kind of with these trades. It's hard to tell right now who's winning, who's not winning, because this is a trade that just happened like 2 or 3 days ago. So We have to kind of let it sink in first. We have to see everybody in uniform, everybody healthy right now. Everyone's past their physical, and I think COVID stuff. I think obviously Rico Oladipo and James Harden and stuff. Some of the guys like because of COVID and stuff, not everyone's gonna play. But you see some guys on the floor right now. James Harden's playing right now. Rico Oladipo's over there on the bench for the Rockets. He's got on street clothes right now. He's not playing right now, obviously because of COVID. But we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. It's hard to tell right now in any trade, especially in a trade that just happened 3 days ago. So it's hard to tell, but we'll see.
How this goes.
Hmm?
Gotta
Yeah,
give it.
we'll see. We'll see what happens. And we lost against the Spurs. Yeah, we lost.
Yep.
Yeah, we lost, but I don't even care. It's just it's hard. It's hard to tell. I mean, obviously now we're 4-7. I don't know. I think we're not in the playoff mix right now, but it's it's looking like a D'Antoni team because we only got like two centers. That's why like Jared Allen or Ben Simmons, like you could have had that and get some rebounding conversation. Then you don't get it. So that was the thing. So that's crazy. But we'll see. Now we'll see, just to get to the soccer part. So Premier League, Man U, Liverpool tomorrow. I don't know if it's a fluke, but they're in first place right now. So I don't know if it's a fluke or something. I still don't believe in it. I still don't believe in it. They're gonna collapse at some point. There's no way. There's no way. Liverpool has their problems right now. They're not playing well. They probably got some injuries and stuff like that. But I got Liverpool winning that game. There's no way. I don't believe in this because
I don't know, man. Like that's a good game to watch.
it is. It is
But
because it's 1-2, right? Well, it's 1-3 because Leicester won today, so they're in second place. Liverpool in third. But I don't believe in this.
I feel
There's
like
just
they can do it. Like I'm telling you, bro. I've been watching this team like every game. Like it's really not bad. It's really not
and
bad.
you say it's not bad. Like you could have at least said, well, they've been showing progress. So like you say it's not really bad. It's kind of like but there's also some
They
bad
showed
in
a
it.
lot of progress. It's like
Yeah, I mean you're
because
in second place. And then for Man U, they measure their season on getting the top four. You have
yeah,
a chance of getting the Premier League. So I ain't got them winning because there's still a lot of games left to be played.
hmm
So we'll see what happens. But I don't buy in this. There's just no. Even if they win, it's gonna be great, but I just don't know. I just don't know. Because with
yeah,
this Man U team, it's ridiculous at times.
yeah. There's
We'll see.
yeah.
We'll see. But that's it for today. We ain't got really much to talk about other than the trade. We'll come back next week with just more NBA news and stuff, soccer stuff. You know, but that's it for the trade. You got anything else, man?
Nah, I got nothing.
All right. Same time, same place. Well, yeah, same place next week. But